Howdy boys and girls. The space race was an event in the Cold War which saw the United States and the Soviet Union go head-to-head, to see who can throw the most amount of metal into space, with the United States coming out on top. But who wants to learn about those two boring countries, am I right? I want to talk to you all today about another country, who sought after the same goals. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to share with you all, the Zambian Space Program. The space program was created by a man named Edward Nkoloso. He was the face of the program, for the race to get into space. His early life wasn't anything too interesting, but all you need to know is that he had a few ups and downs in his life up until 1960, when he founded the Zambian National Academy of Science, Space Research, and Philosophy. So this is where our story begins. The space program had lasted from 1960 to sometime after 1969, and in such a short amount of time, they had big goals to achieve, and of all these goals, they achieved a whopping 0. Who'd have thought? It comes to no one's surprise that, as an African colony, it would have been extremely difficult to get anything done without your proprietor having to say something. And you know, this is Africa in the 1960s, so right now it's a make or break situation for every nation that isn't independent yet. But anyway, enough of that. The space program had its main goal to reach the moon before the US and Soviet Union had a chance to get there first. The astronaut would be a 17-year-old girl, Martha Mwamwa, and she would be accompanied with 2 cats. They couldn't go into space dry, so they decided to lube them up with experience of G-force and weightlessness during space travel. But given that Zambia wasn't the richest of countries at the time, they couldn't use the fancy machinery the likes that America and the Soviet Union had. Instead, they made use out of some good old-fashioned oil drums and tire swings. Obviously, these wouldn't give the true experience of space travel, but they still had the spirit. The rocket that would be used for takeoff was a little, shall we say, underestimated. It was a 3x2-meter drum-shaped vessel, and was given the name Dikalu-1, named after Zambia's first president, Kenneth David Kaunda. The rocket was poorly designed, as it was made from primarily aluminium and copper, but it was deemed as space-worthy by Nkoloso himself. His goals didn't just stop at getting to the moon first though. The space program was one step ahead of the game, and even had plans to travel to Mars once they were able to land on the moon. The aim of getting to Mars was not to colonize, or anything of the sort, oh no. They had the great idea of creating a Christian ministry, for the primitive Martians. Yeah. But later Nkoloso had told the missionary of the program to not force Christianity onto the Martians. The planned launch for the makeshift rocket was on the 24th of October, 1964, the same day that Zambia gained independence from Britain. And the rocket would be launched inside of the Independence Stadium, in the Zambian capital of Lusaka. The launch was inevitably cancelled, due to it being deemed inappropriate, but I'm sure the crowds would have gotten a good laugh out of it, if it had failed. Oh well. Because of this, Edward Nkoloso had pledged to the United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural Organization, for a grant of 7 million Zambian pounds, to help support his space program. While at the same time, asking for an additional 1.9 billion for what he called, private foreign sources. However, these requests were not made on behalf of Zambia, and of course, was profusely denied these requests. Subsequently, the program had failed and ended up getting shut down due to a lack of funding. The would-be astronaut I mentioned earlier, Martha Mwamwa, had fell pregnant and returned to her family. Morale of the group had dropped after it had gained attention by the media. Last but certainly not least, the heap of scrap rocket was rumored to have been sabotaged by foreign elements. Damn those pesky outsiders, coming into Zambia and destroying their hopes and dreams. But that concludes the thrilling manga of the Zambian Space Program. It may be gone, but it will never be forgotten, and who knows, maybe in some alternate universe out there, Zambia's goals had been accomplished, and the green, black, orange and red would be standing tall out there in the cosmos, instead of the red, white and blue. Anyway, that's all for now. but until next time boys and girls, thanks for watching.